Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, whatever the occasion, it just got a little more personal with meaningful photo gifts from Shutterfly. Add a silly photo to a gold-rimmed mug for your bestie. Put your sweet puppy on a cozy fleece blanket for your teen. Gift your husband a desktop plaque featuring all the kids. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with code POD40 at Shutterfly.com and make something that means something. Build a routine with Ollie that supports your wellness needs, like getting your daily vitamins and minerals with Ollie's multi-gummies, or keeping your mood upbeat with all the vitamin D in Hello Happy. Give your gut health some support with probiotics, and wake up feeling refreshed after taking Ollie Sleep. Do wellness on your terms. Find Ollie at a Walmart or Target near you or at ollie.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This winter, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And for the past 9 weeks, we've discussed one book from our Winter Book Club roster. By using our literary backgrounds, we provide a flash analysis of each book as well as discuss listener thoughts.
This is part 2 of our final Winter Book Club episode, where we're discussing The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole.
There's no character arc in growth with Diana, right? Mm-hmm. Who we get at the beginning of the book is very similar to who we get at the end. The one element where I think that Amber Nicole was trying to have Diana grow, and I think had a lot more opportunity, is the Diana coping with the fact that she was in an abusive relationship, that she's now broken away from it, and how much she was surviving off of love crumbs, and the fact that she was even trying to get love crumbs. And she says at one point to Liam, one time I tried to make things more romantic and take things seriously, and whatever his name is,
Caden.
I was like Cardinin, but Caden. She was like, and Caden, laughed it off. I think there was a lot more, and especially with like how much a lot of this was like Caden just really wanted her back. I'm okay with that. I still think that's interesting.
Yeah,
her character growth could have had a lot more of just realizing how trapped she truly was, and understanding what it meant for her to break away. Because I think that we have this moment where she gets out and she makes a choice. And I think that's an interesting thing. I think that's a potential of like great character growth. I feel like what we see is a confused Diana who's almost not entirely sure of what she just did, and never truly reflects on that.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think the time that I found Diana most interesting was the moment she decided to save Logan.
Yes. Yeah.
And therefore go help Liam and his crew, right? The moment she decided to leave Caden. And the fact that that decision hinges on Logan's dying thoughts being only of the person he loves, and how much love he had for that person is very, very telling.
Yeah. Yep.
And there was no follow through.
Yeah. And I actually feel like up until that point, it was set up perfect. It was set up very well. Amber spent enough time showing the amount of shit Diana got from these characters, showing how much they did not respect her, and realizing that she was only quote unquote second in name.
Yeah.
she talks at the beginning of like, they're just jealous because I'm
so powerful.
I'm so powerful and he made me second. And you see how much they walk all over her, and you see how much they don't respect her. They don't care if she's alive or dead. Like, they do not see worth in her at all.
Yeah.
So, you can tell with the start of the book within the first few sentences of like, I'm number 2, I'm so badass, to, oh my God, they really didn't care about her being kidnapped and tortured for weeks. And all of that made perfect sense, having spent time with her sister, seeing her sister in love. And then for the last thoughts of being like, of Logan thinking of his wife, like, yeah, like, okay, you have set her up perfectly. Give me that character growth. Give me the woman who has to realize what love means, and it must mean more than just her sister. Like, she wants that so much. And then we just never really get back to that again.
Right. I mean, I agree with everything that you've said to this point. I feel like what it does is it explains why Diana would fall in love with Liam.
Yes.
Because she's seeking it. It would explain why she gets jealous when Liam kisses whatever her name is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Came with a C or something.
Yeah, it was a C or whatever. We needed more of that pining and revelation of everything she did try to do with Caden. And seeing how maybe unintentionally she does those same things with Logan, and it, he reacts different. Like, it was missing the seasoning.
If we were going to get flashbacks, I would have loved flashbacks with her and Cameron. I already forgot his name. Caden. I would have loved flashbacks with her and Caden, because Caden was this boogeyman, this monster. He's going to get her, and it's a lot of desperate, and we could see her fear of him. I think it would have been beneficial for us to see moments, even in flashback form, to make those fearful moments make sense.
Yeah.
And I think that would have done, again, a lot to show maybe all of this, badassery is to take it out, because to take out her own frustration, to lash out in a way that she isn't able to lash out with him. Maybe it's because every time she does a mission well, she gets rewarded by him. Maybe she has to process that the amount of deaths that she's caused is purely because she's trying to make a man love her.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, that's a terrifying thing to think about.
Yeah.
And to have to process. I mean, that would have been so interesting to see. And to your point, we haven't read the second book. So does it happen in the second book? We don't know. But there was so much room for it to happen here.
Especially for how big this book is.
Yeah. I think it's almost 900 pages.
Is it?
Nope.
500, I thought.
572 pages Kindle edition.
Oh.
But there were other people saying...
Is that what Goodreads says?
Yeah.
Book of Azrael page count.
I feel like I saw someone say it's like over 800 pages in printed form.
It's Barnes & Noble says 500 pages. It's 21 hours on Audible.
No, I think it's 800 pages, because that's it's equivalent. The length on Audible is equivalent to House of Sky and Breath.
Oh wait, I have it.
Go look. Look at them titties.
We'll save that for okay. I forgot. I bought it while I was at the book signing, and I got it signed.
That's a huge book. Like, in terms of like size.
It's
vertically,
tall. It's very tall. Okay, so it's very tall. The text is very
tiny.
Is particularly tiny. It's a very tall and wide book. Okay, so the text only goes to 487.
But I can guarantee if it was printed like ACOTAR, like the same size.
Yeah.
page in the same size font, it would be an 800-page book.
I feel like, oops, let's see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not really. I feel like it goes like into the margins more.
Yeah, there's hardly any margins in that book.
Yeah, I think it feels like the book was published in a way to kind of make it seem less big, and I could not find a word count online either for this.
Interesting.
Because I was trying to find a word count to see if there was something about it.
Let me see.
Word count estimated. There's an estimated word count of 193,000 words. And that makes more sense. So there's another one of like, this is off of howlongtoread.com. And it says that it says like it's an estimated, like this just kind of giving estimated amounts. So, I take this with a grain of salt from howlongtoread.com. But to your point, the audiobook is 21 hours. That's the same amount of time as Crescent City.
Yeah, I think it's the same as Earth and Blood, or like within 3 hours of Earth and Blood.
It's a hell of a lot longer than anything else. And so for a book that's that big, there needs to be big movements within the characters and the plot. Because what is the plot? They're looking for a book. And it kind of becomes a buddy cop. We're looking for a book. And, I always complain about books happening within 2 weeks. So I do respect the fact that, months go by and weeks pass. So like that can still happen. But it was a buddy cop hunting for a book.
Yeah. And I mean, I completely agree. I think it's a lot of words, 193,000, when, publishers usually want the first book to be under, like for a fantasy-based book, a max of 130.
Yeah.
Like 130 would probably be the max for most.
Yep.
That's a lot of words for a plot I could summarize in a couple of sentences.
Yeah. And there weren't moments that felt like absolutely necessary. Diana being betrayed by the fashion designer just to be betrayed by the witch. That was redundant.
Yeah.
What was the point of going to the fashion designer to then go be betrayed by the witch?
Yeah.
Take one of those out. You can still get the same thing.
Yeah, even with Liam's flashbacks, which a lot of those were redundant. It was always his father being like, you are better than this. You're better than all of us. And that was basically it for all of them.
And then at the same time, those would be Liam's flashbacks. And then Diana would have the blood dreams, and it would be the same concept happening.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of redundancy there. And, some of those you can take out. You don't have to show it happening every time to show consistency.
Yeah.
I would be annoyed if it was just one time and that's it.
Right.
I get it. You want to have a little bit more.
But that's when you fall back on the power of 3.
Yeah.
Show us 3 memories with a progression of the story or the plot or the relationship or something.
And then the third time when she discovers that he's the one who destroyed the planet.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be a great reveal?
See, and that's the problem, is that we got it so many times from his perspective. The reveal was not a reveal.
Yeah. There was nothing surprising in that moment. It was a moment that she was scared of him. She was horrified. He's the one who destroyed the planet. But like, didn't the dreams already show that the planet was kind of in the midst of being destroyed anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still confused of what entirely happened in that scenario. Like, okay, he sent everyone away. The planet was already kind of like crumbling. His dad died and he needed to like end this war.
Yeah.
Is it this fear that he has that kind of power to destroy a planet? I mean, his name is literally World Ender.
Right.
Why are we shocked by this?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it was I don't even know. I don't even know. I think the shock is he has the power of a god, but the power is bad, even though he's a good guy. He's the savior. But actually his power could be used for evil. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, Jacqueline, the sushi destroyer. And then you find out that I eat sushi a lot. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing surprising. Yeah. Especially where, again, you're telling me that it's shocking that a god would have scary powers. I'm not surprised by that. It's not jarring to me to think, oh, well, like, isn't the whole thing with gods is like, thou shalt, like, they can take you in, they can take you out type of thing. So, all right, he destroyed a world.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if the reveal had been he wasn't actually the person that destroyed the world, but did something that set off the chain of events and everyone assumes that he was actually the one who did the
would have
final
been
act,
great.
that would have been a bigger reveal, right?
It would have been great if his dad was the one to have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And he needed to have that reputation, or that, like you said, that reputation fell on him because the way that his dad died truly was his fault or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially where I do love Liam. I love a depressed little boy. Like he was just so sad. And I think the depiction of depression was done really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
With him.
I think so too. And that's why I liked him. I felt like he was very relatable for someone who has struggled with mental illness.
His depression is relatable, like especially for people who've experienced it themselves. His panic attacks are relatable. I think what made it unique is, one, a male character going through that.
Yeah.
I love that. Two, the thought process was very realistic when you're in those moments. And the way that he was getting, like, kind of like getting out of his depression, I was willing to be on board with that too. Like the way that he was processing and coping with that too was a good step by step. Like I feel like that took its time and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. And it's not like he's completely cured.
Yeah.
There was something you said I had a thought for too. Oh, going back to what you said about you love that Liam was the one with depression. And I think it's because I feel like literature squarely and media squarely gives women the burden of depression.
Yeah.
Because men aren't supposed to feel anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for us to see a male character work through his struggles, his emotions, or lack thereof is refreshing because it is not a gendered experience.
Yes.
It is a universal experience.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think it was a good take on, Shadow Daddy, even though he's not a shadow, God Daddy. There was like a shirt I saw where it's they called like God like Sky Daddy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. But like, so he's Sky Daddy. It did feel a little different than a lot of the other kind of guys that we get who are like super suave and very, I'm going to do whatever. I also am a sucker for the trope of out like not in this world, and like, the guy is like, what is this thing, like him asking like, why are we putting children in little miniature cars where they can try to destroy each other? Hilarious. I think it's one of the funnier tropes that I really like, nano tropes or micro tropes I really enjoy. It's a very specific thing, and those were done great, and it makes him very endearing because then you can see how he's trying to understand these things, and he slowly learns how to say the word fuck, and you can see him coming out of his shell.
Right. And the people who've known him for thousands of years are like, where'd you learn that word?
Who taught you that word? Right?
I like, that was great.
Yeah. Those were really fun moments. And another thing that I do appreciate from this book, and this was also a positive that listeners listed, was the tension and the slow burn. It was a slow burn.
Yeah, and it needed to be a slow burn, given Liam's mental state and given how these two characters are on extreme opposite sides,
Mhm.
and it's in their nature to hate and fight each other. I think the slow burn was warranted and appropriate, and I love a slow burn. I did not necessarily feel the attraction between them.
Interesting.
Excuse us while we hydrate and you listen to this ad.
This episode of Book Talk for Book Talk is brought to you by Wild Grain.
Wild Grain is the first baked from frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas.
Wild Grain's boxes are fully customizable to your taste and dietary restrictions. In addition to their classic variety box, they recently launched a new gluten-free box and a plant-based box that is 100% vegan. All you, Amy.
Love it. Best of all, they take the hassle out of baking since all the items bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less with no mess or cleanup.
I received their chocolate chip cookies, and the fact that I got fresh baked cookies under 25 minutes that tasted a million times better than anything you get from the grocery store was one of my favorite things from this box.
I love the idea of having gluten-free bread, but I am a sucker for sourdough. And let me tell you, their sourdough was the best thing I've ever eaten.
I think that it might be my favorite sourdough of all time. And they have pastas, they have baguettes, they have croissants. Like, it's been a very happy time here in my house.
Are you ready to bring all your favorite carbs right to your doorstep? Be sure to check out Wild Grain so you can begin building your own box of artisanal breads, pastas, and pastries.
For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off the first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/booktalk, BookTalk, to start your subscription. Those croissants are incredible.
You heard her, free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/booktalk.
That's wildgrain.com/booktalk, or use the promo code BookTalk, BookTalk, at checkout.
When it comes to grocery shopping, I have the hardest time coming up with high-protein meals that also meet all my dietary restrictions because I'm gluten-free, I'm dairy-free, I'm so many things. And Hungry Root has changed all that for me and has made it so easy to eat the way I want, as well as making it easy for me to cook every day.
I love Hungry Root because it's like having your own personal shopper, and they're able to take care of weekly grocery shopping and recommending healthy groceries tailored to your taste, nutrition preference, and health goals. For me, one of my health goals for this year is making sure that my body, my heart, and everything is healthy.
It also has great options for everybody in your family. I eat very differently from my partner, and so I'm able to find foods that suit my needs but also suit hers.
It makes grocery shopping simple and stress-free because this is the new year, therefore I want less stressors in my life. And you just have to tell them about your goals and preferences, and then they fill your cart for you with personalized recommendations that get smarter the more that they learn about you and learn about what you like and what you don't like. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as we do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life.
Go to hungryroot.com/booktalk, that's BookTalk, and use the code BookTalk, BookTalk. That's hungryroot.com/booktalk and use the code BookTalk, BookTalk, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. I don't know about you, Jack, but when it's gift giving season, as much as I love to get everyone gifts, I always stop and get myself something as well because you never know if it's going to be a win or bust with everybody else's presents to you.
The real gift is the one we can give ourselves, particularly the ones we can order from Quince. Quince has the most amazing everyday luxury items, but at an affordable price.
This is the time of year where those iconic Mongolian cashmere sweaters from Quince are the perfect snuggly thing to wear to the office, to wear on the couch.
I've been visiting my mom who now lives in the East Coast, and it is cold there, and I do not have the proper clothes. And I've actually been ordering some of my clothes from Quince because all items on Quince are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They're able to do that by partnering direct with top factories and cutting out the cost of middleman, and passes on the savings to you. And you can get sweaters and coats, which is what I got.
Not only do they use premium fabrics and finishes, they also work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. If you haven't treated yourself yet, get yourself that present you'll love this winter without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/booktalk.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Okay, before I go into the attraction comment, I'm going to say this before I forget. I think Amber Nicole did a very real enemies to lovers. You and I have very strict standards when it comes to enemies to lovers and calling that. Normally 9 out of 10 times it's angry puppy to lovers.
Yep.
And this one was a true, they hate each other. They would kill each other if they had the chance. Now they're going to be partnered up, enemies to lovers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Diana legitimately tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Kill Liam.
And he legitimately tortured her.
Yeah.
And neither one were, for a while, they were okay with the other's destruction.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't an immediate attraction of, you know, and I always notice when the writers are always kind of describe things along the lines of, I hate him. I absolutely despise him. Even though his eyes were gorgeous and his jawline was chiseled and he's so hot. Because then it's like, all right, well, I don't really believe this. And in the beginning, Diana only noticed him being attractive a few times, where it was more of, oh, of course he's a good looking guy. You know,
yeah,
like it just
he's a god, so of course he would be.
Yeah. And it wasn't a matter of noticing his attractiveness every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because then that kind of like borders angry puppy to me.
Yeah.
Her attractiveness to him her noticing his attractiveness grew as the more attracted she became. What made you feel like you didn't feel like what made you feel that there wasn't a chemistry between the two?
I'm going to blame mostly the fact that I listened to this so quickly. And so that's a fault of my own. I think also part of it was just, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I just didn't care. I wasn't invested. Like, I could see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to happen the way I want Taliesin and Alark to happen, right? It didn't butter my muffin.
Okay. Muffins aside, which, by the way, I did have one of the banana walnut muffins that you made, and they were great. Muffins aside, there was a lot of buildup, right? Tension, or at least there was a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I felt like the moment from hate to interest happened very quickly.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a light switch, and then there was tension, right? And then it became, oh, I'm kind of attracted to him. Oh, I'm attracted to her. I can't do anything. We're going to sleep in one bed. I'm mad that he's not sleeping in my bed. I'm mad that I'm not sleeping in her bed.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was that moment, and those moments were great because it was, you know, you're like, just share a bed, guys. Like that. It's adorable.
Yeah.
But it went from, for me, oh, I hate you. Okay, let's play truce and we're going to be friends. And our first night of friendship, we're going to sleep in the same bed. And I'm going to stroke your hair until your nightmare goes away.
Yeah. And maybe that's it. Is, I think use of a light switch is exactly correct. It was a light switch. And then I'm like, what do you mean you're playing with his hair and giving him a head massage? Like,
yeah.
Even if you've called a truce with someone, that's a very intimate thing to do.
Yes.
And you haven't established intimacy on an emotional level. So,
yeah.
I think that threw me off. And so I was never really engaged again
Mm-hmm.
because nothing felt right to me moving that from that point forward. I love the idea of them being mad about, I want to be in bed with her, but
Yeah.
she's mad at me, and I want him to be in bed with me, but he's into someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I eat that shit up,
Oh, yes.
but I think the transition was not convincing enough for me that I was just like, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on.
The truce could have happened way sooner,
Yeah.
you know, and there could have been those tentative moments of, damn it, we're in a truce, but I'm angry at you. And then there's that buildup there
Yeah.
and friendship there.
Yeah.
I think that they could have shared a bed after, you know, some of their adventures on the pier, you know, after some of their other things. I think then there could have been a bed sharing moment, because then at least that way, and I can't remember the order of events. So if they did go to the pier and take the photos and then shared the bed, I apologize. I don't remember that being the route.
I don't think that was the route.
But if it was, just on the off chance I am wrong, I apologize. But there could have been moments of like friendship building, because you're right. It is an intimate thing to share a bed with someone.
Well, and to like,
Scratch.
I don't give anybody head scratches. And the couple times that I have, I'm like, this feels way too intimate. I don't
It's
like
some
it.
of my biggest complaints. No, okay. You'll braid my hair, and that's about it. But like I only, the head scratches is like what I've done with boyfriends. Like that's
yeah.
You know, they're gonna have their head in my lap, and I do the head scratches, and then it's like, scratch my hair.
Yeah.
You know, and suddenly guys are little puppies, just scratching in the head scratches, back scratches. And those are perfect, especially since that's kind of like in our own world, like reality. That is a trope for guys, where, you know, guys will crumble until the moment they're like, oh, wait, will you scratch my head? You know, or scratch my back. And I like that, you know, this big god falls for head scratches, you know, where he's you know, crumble to that. But you don't scratch a stranger's head.
Right. I think going back to this idea of the length of the book, there was so much space for it to be enemies to friends to lovers.
Yes.
And I think that friendship establishment and the emotional intimacy was much more necessary before the bed sharing, to your point, before the I'm jealous, he's kissing other women.
And then this is another thing that I will be strict on, and we've been strict on this before. 1, we're strict on, is it enemies to lovers? 2, I'm strict on, is it truly friends to lovers? Because there was no friends to lovers. It was, we're friends, but I want you, but we're friends.
Right.
Call me your friend. I'm angry. Is he your friend too? Is that what it's like? You know, so there was no true friendship. And I've said this about ACOTAR. I've said this about Crescent City. You know, I always get bugged when Farrah and Reese say, you know, we were friends first. And
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Reese, you were in love with her from the get-go.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as that. There, you know, very rarely do you see true friends to lovers. While she nailed enemies to lovers, there was no friends to lovers. And like you said, there was enough space in this book that you could have gone from enemies to true friends to then actual lovers.
Yeah. Completely agree.
But, you know, Liam is such a special little boy. I am such a sucker for him. Okay, here is, someone said, I guess this is in future books because I don't remember this. I can't stand when Diana starts calling Sam Kyle Sammy.
I don't remember that either. I feel like I would remember that.
Oh, wait. One of our listeners sent a message. I need to read it because they wrote, I'm just going to send you a message. So here is the message. Okay. Thought, which might be some of the things we've already discussed, but I apologize. This comes from Aaron. I think that's how you say it. It's Aryn.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Book of Azrael. I have one word for this book. Editing. The book was about 300 pages too long. Nothing really happens. The same thing keeps playing out over and over again, and nothing is added to the plot. And I am a world building / character building girly, but we don't ever really get any new information in the attempted world / character building moments. We get it. He's a reluctant ruler with trauma. She's secretly She is secretly lonely and has her sister. How many times can we have the same conversation and the same dreams? How many times can they be betrayed? Not even Caden, the big bad, seems all that bad. They just seem a little stupid and keep walking into traps. And I, STG, is that a cool thing that I don't know what
I
it is?
don't know.
STG, if she, quote, swatted him one more time, I'm going to, I swear to God. There it is.
Oh, yeah. There you
Okay.
go. Good
I'm
job.
cool, guys. And I swear to God, if she swatted him one more time, I was going to scream. I feel like I read a different book than everyone else. A lot of similar thoughts that we have.
Yeah. Aaron, I am with you, Aaron.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Aaron touched on that we haven't discussed is the world building.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was thinking, oh, this is a pretty unique world. Even though I was confused about a lot of things, like I said, I start books and I kind of hope halfway through I get what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was very confused about the world. I thought I understood it until the very last few pages when Caden is doing the announcement to everyone. And there's a moment of the humans aren't ready for this news. And I just sat back thinking, wait, is it not known that there's vampires and gods and god wars?
I thought they
did.
I was confused about that too, because I know that they have a mortal council that engages them. I definitely thought it was known.
And then I'm thinking, did I mislisten to that? Did I not hear that correct? Actually, I have the book. Come back here, book. I'm trapped. Shouldn't have thrown that on my bed because it was like the last freaking pages. This text is all blurring together.
It's so small.
It's so small. Remember what I taught you. Oh yeah, he kept saying, remember what I taught you. And there was that moment, like, okay, so he says, remember what I taught you. Don't let him bait you. And I thought, did you teach her that? Or did you just say that to her one time?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point.
I don't know if you could count that as a teaching. Because think about it, how many times I've taught you things then.
You've taught me a lot of stuff that I've forgotten.
My lessons are so valuable though. Let's see. Sorry. Maybe this isn't worth it. Okay, here it is. Can you pinpoint the location? That's the thing. It's a frequency. And my next question died as Anthony started talking once more. Now, Caden, please tell us what exactly is the other world. My adrenaline spiked, not knowing this wasn't something mortals needed to learn.
This feels like news to me. I thought they cohabitated.
They cohabitate. Do they not know that they're cohabitating?
I thought they knew.
I thought they knew too. I mean, you have vampires and you have
witches
and demon thingies.
Maybe not. And celestials.
And celestials, yeah.
Maybe they only know about celestials, but they don't know about the other world creatures.
So that's the confusing part for me too. Yeah, so that the world building was a little where I'm like, wait, what? I thought I got it until that line, and then it was, no, you lost me. Okay, so 2 more things I want to talk about, and I want to give props to this book. Representation.
Yes.
People of color, it was just part of the world, part of the text. I love to see it. Love to see when it just is. You know what I mean? It is because that's the world, you know?
Right. It doesn't have to explain itself.
Yeah, like because that is the world that we live in. 2, representation of LGBTQ. They made it very clear that both Diana and Liam have been with the same sex. Like Diana had a relationship with a woman. Liam made it clear that he's tried everything there possibly is. And I, love to see it. Love to see representation. I think what I like about this book that Amber did is that so many times, and I'll probably be guilty as an author myself, knowing that I'm going to be guilty of it. There'll be times where characters, because they've lived for so long, they've tried everything, and you kind of have this moment of like, oh wow, like he's been with men, yay.
Mhm.
Versus Diana was in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a unique thing that we don't get to see, where, oh, they've lived for so long, they've both been with, the same gender. Versus like, oh shit, Diana actually has had a girlfriend who fell in love with her, and now there's like a whole jealousy thing happening there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like saying they've lived this long, they've dabbled is not enough. Because
Yeah.
everybody dabbles. You don't have to live long to dabble.
You can just exist.
Right, exactly. So I think it would have been nice to see that from Liam too. Like, what if Liam and Logan had a bromance?
Would have been beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And then they introduced a third, and Logan was like, you know what? This
She's the
woman's for
one.
me. Sorry.
And then, yeah, I mean, I think what makes it also hard is that you have two characters who've lived 1,000 years plus, and they've never been in love.
Mm.
What does that say about my 35 years? I know they're probably setting it up because, I mean, not know. I feel like as someone who's never read the rest of the books, guarantee facts, we're going to find out that they're each other's soulmate, that special sauce that, Liam was talking about. And that's probably the reason why they never fell in love with anyone else, because they were waiting for their soulmates.
Right.
Sometimes for me personally, that takes away from books.
Yeah.
When characters have never been in love with someone else.
Yeah.
I like when I see characters who have experienced that, because I think it brings something different to it. Because then it's not just so, I mean, it's the way that Farrah truly loved Tamlin.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a sense of like, this is what life is. You fall in love with people, and then sometimes that love doesn't work out, and that's just the reality.
Yeah, and I think for me it legitimizes any mating trope there is, because the person has something to compare the mate experience with or against.
Yeah, yeah.
And can legitimately say, I know what love is, but this is different. And I want this.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I wish, 1,000 years and you didn't even love someone at all. All right. I mean, that screams more issues than anything else.
Yeah. Liam is a troubled boy.
So troubled. But again, you see good, how he was before and how he was after.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But alas. All right. I think we did it. That was our last book for book club.
Wow. Back to regular school now.
This was the fastest summer school we've ever had. Winter school. I'm excited for Throne of Glass. I'm excited because episodes are about 40 pages each.
So they will be much easier to prep.
Yeah, famous last words next
I know.
week.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But overall, I very much enjoyed this book club. Even with books like Book of Azrael, I would eventually go into it. Actually, I don't know if I would finish reading this book series, because someone has another note under the negatives where they say that this is book 1, but the series is now, I think it's like 5 books.
What?
The 5th book is coming out in 2025. And then they say book 2 gets really gory, which I'm fine with, but the fact when I found out that this was like the 5th book was coming out in 2025 made me not want to continue, because I don't know how much I can do. At that point, I think there ends up being a lot of back and forth of the same thing. If it continues to just be Liam and Diana's perspective, you're just going to be repeating patterns and storylines. And I think that's why like Throne of Glass works, is because you introduce so many characters by the end of it that you're able to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
And keep the progression. But yeah, that kind of like made me a little hesitant of like, ooh, do I want to actually enter this world? Because I mean, I would love for them to have sex, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to see stupid choices for 5+ books.
Yeah.
But no, overall, had a blast this winter book club.
Yeah.
I saw that you're still listening to the second book from One Dark Window.
Yes. So it's two
Dark Windows.
Twisted Crowns.
Oh.
I'm almost done. Yeah. Yeah. I can't say anything.
Okay.
Because you're going to listen to it.
Yeah, I am going to listen to it. I was trying to think, because right now I'm editing Trial of the Sun Queen, because that's what comes out this week.
Yeah.
And listening to that, I was like, oh God, I want to listen to that. I want to go back to that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's got 4 books. I thought it only had 3. It's got 4.
You know, bring me back to a classic 3-book arc. I know people were complaining about 3-book arcs. I want 2 or 3 books. I can't commit to more than this.
Yeah. I can't do another Harry Potter.
I can't do another Harry Potter. I can't do another, like, I've given so much to SJM.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to continue giving this much to her, and it's just going to continue. And
I can't have more SJMs in my life.
Truly. So you guys figure this out. Wrap it up in 3, 2 or 3. I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, what was your favorite book out of all of book club? Was it One Dark Window?
I think it was.
What about Spark of the Everflame? That was another good one.
Spark of the Everflame was a very close second, I think.
Yeah.
I love them for different reasons.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty close. I don't know. We had a lot of good books.
And then Guild was great. I would really recommend that you continue with Guild.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got a lot of series to get through now.
The Witch Collector, that's
yeah.
the person who made the comment about like book 1 is me, book 1 is you. She apologized. She was like, I didn't mean to insult you. I'm like, you're fine. I was just teasing. I thought it was a funny comment. Yeah, there's a lot of books I want to go back to, and my TBR is fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have most of these books on our Audible, right?
Yes. We've got a handful of these books on Audible.
I think I bought there was a big sale in the summer, and I think I just like bought a bunch of like series without thinking about it.
I think I already purchased the second and third book for Spark of the Everflame.
Okay, then that was you and not me. Never mind.
And I also bought book 2 and 3 of Trial of the Sun Queen.
Okay.
And then I got One Dark Window and the sequel.
All right,
and it's only a duology.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Can't do more. I can't do this.
Yeah. I think you may have already gotten the Witch Collector series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a busy time, and I'm excited to be able to listen to other things now.
Yep. Me too.
I'm waiting for you to be done with 2 Dark Windows so that I can go and listen to that one.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Yes, please.
Thank you for listening to the final episode of Winter Book Club with Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Next week, we begin our deep dive into the novel Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, starting with chapters 1 through 6.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. If you'd like to submit your take on any of the books we've discussed this winter or any of our other book discussions, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to submit your thoughts or check out our Instagram, where we frequently solicit thoughts and questions from our followers.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle BookTok for BookTalk. And as much as we love you and you love us, we hope that I don't know what I'm saying.
We're going to hope and beg and pray. If you really want to support the show, please share us on your stories on Instagram with friends any way you possibly can. We love you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
All right. My lipstick is over there, but whatever. If I need it, I'll stop halfway through.
You can do it.
Well, I mean touch up, because it's already on.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Thank you for thinking that this beauty is natural.
I don't know about you, Jack, but when it's gift-giving season, as much as I love to get everyone gifts, I always stop and get myself something as well because you never know if it's going to be a win or bust with everybody else's presents to you.
The real gift is the one we can give ourselves, particularly the ones we can order from Quince. Quince has the most amazing everyday luxury items, but at an affordable price.
This is the time of year where those iconic Mongolian cashmere sweaters from Quince are the perfect snuggly thing to wear to the office, to wear on the couch.
I've been visiting my mom who now lives in the East Coast, and it is cold there, and I do not have the proper clothes. And I've actually been ordering some of my clothes from Quince because all items on Quince are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They're able to do that by partnering direct with top factories and cutting out the cost of middleman, and passes on the savings to you. And you can get sweaters and coats, which is what I got.
Not only do they use premium fabrics and finishes, they also work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. If you haven't treated yourself yet, get yourself that present you'll love this winter without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/booktalk.